Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Divinity Between. I hope you are in a good space. If not, I'm sending so much love, so much beautiful energy to you to get you, get you back in a good space. Okay? So, getting straight into it, I want to talk about the divine masculine. Now, I know, y'all, we hear a lot about the divine feminine, which is a very real thing, which is everything, right? But not a lot of people talk about the divine masculine. At least I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it in the way that I'm about to talk about it. So many things that we can say about why the divine feminine is divine. She's not just the feminine, she is the divine feminine. What makes her divine, right? There's so many things we can talk about right there, right? And this is not about man, woman, girl, boy. This is about the energetics, the energy of the masculine, the energy of the feminine, right? We're talking more metaphysics, more spiritual, more like just energy, just masculine energy, feminine energy, right? The divine feminine is more about the state of beingness, the state of being grounded. The masculine can be grounded too, but the divine feminine is grounded in a different way, right? In her body. The feminine represents more of the body, more of presence. When we think spiritual, when we think unseen, unknown, when we think something that's not here in the world, here in the physical realm, we think feminine. We think beingness, right? There's not too much doing. It's just a state of being feminine. And then when I think about the masculine, or the divine masculine, that's more of a doing energy, right? The opposite of being, more of a doing energy. Action, go, get, move, physical, set something out to do, you know what I mean? It's more doing, movement, right? Again, the feminine is also about movement, right? It's still sacral energy, but just in a different way, right? In a different way. But just talking, I guess, here, in the world for now. But for me, what makes the divine feminine so divine in this world, especially with everything going on and all the noise and chaos and just craziness, right? Tapping into the divine feminine, we know, is important because that state of beingness, that state of being grounded, even meditating, being able to maintain your peace of mind in your sacred state of just beingness, despite fear-based things, despite tragedy, despite all the world stuff, right? All the things. The divine feminine is an energy that keeps us here in our body, that no matter what's going on, we can still be in a state of beingness, be in a state of presence, be in an aligned state, like have ourselves together here, maintain a sense of embodiment of whatever we are, firm within ourselves despite what's going on. Now, the divine masculine, I not too long ago really realized this the more I just sat with myself and sat with spirit and journal and things like that. The divine masculine is very divine too. Like, since the masculine is about doing the action, it came to me as like sacred action, sacred doingness, sacred movement, sacred physicality. While the divine feminine energy helps us to maintain a sense of embodiment and peace and presence, despite chaos, despite the worst of the worst, right, happening. So the divine masculine, look, as the sun comes out, right, masculine representing the sun, right, while the divine feminine is being, the divine masculine is doing. So despite all the things going on, right, we still have to get stuff done. We still have to take action. We're here in the physical, we're here in the world. We still have to do things, right? Set out to do things, move, act, be physical. We're in our body. The divine masculine is so divine in its way to take sacred action despite chaos, to take sacred action, to move in a way that's focused on divine, that's focused on presence, that's focused on getting stuff done, taking care of business, taking care of what's important, right? So the masculine is very divine too. They work together. The divine feminine and the divine masculine work closely together, right? It's a dance. It's a dance. You need that in breath and you need that out breath, right? You need that beingness and you need that doingness energy, right? When a woman has a baby, I love using this analogy. When a woman is in labor, right, what does she do? What does the doctor say? Okay, rest for a while, rest, okay, rest, and in a minute you take a deep breath and you push again, right? The rest, the moment where she rests, that's feminine energy, right? She's being. And then that moment where she needs to go again, needs to push, needs to exert energy, right? That's the masculine, right? But she can't be all resting the entire time, right? The baby won't come out. The birthing won't happen. The creation will not happen if she's just all feminine state, all just resting. I mean, the baby's like, it's time to come out. We're not doing nothing. And she can't be in all masculine energy, right? She can't be just pushing. No rest at all. Oh my gosh, she will be exhausted. That would probably be very detrimental, even fatal to her. Like, there'll be so much stress going on with her body, probably with the baby at that point, you know what I mean? Like, it's a dance. We need both feminine, masculine, input, output, whatever words you want to use. I feel like the divine feminine energy is very focused on, which is a beautiful thing. And for so many reasons, right? This world has been bred on patriarchy, right? So it's very important for us to really know the importance of the divine feminine. You know, I realized that patriarchy is not the true divine masculine. There's another masculine that's not toxic masculinity. That's divine masculine, right? What does divine masculine look like? Remember, we're not talking woman, man. We're not talking girl, boy, whatever. Female, male. We're talking about energetics. When I think about the feminine, I think about the embodiment of the divine, the embodiment of God, the embodiment of spirit, right? The beingness energy, just resting in God, resting in spirit. Don't take this stuff literal. This is energetics, right? When I think about the divine feminine, it's more like a state of being present, a state of being divine, a state of being spirit, a state of being God. When I think about the divine masculine, it's a state of focused attention on God, on spirit, on divine, right? We're just talking about source right now. We're talking about God, presence, all that stuff. Don't take it literally. Just hear me, right? Energetics. So while the feminine is being that presence, the masculine is focusing its attention and its mind on presence. Feminine is the body and a state of beingness. Masculine is the mind and the state of focus, attention, where we set our eyes to, where we set our eye to, our third eye to, right? Perception. I'm going to definitely make a video about perception and attention and focus, because it's so important. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I used to sleep on the whole divine masculine thing, and you know, probably because of personal experience and how the media portrays masculine energy and how patriarchy, I mean, come on now. So it's so easy to get warped and to just only see that masculine energy as toxic. But especially with times changing and us evolving and the earth and the world and the collective elevating and getting aligned and getting in tune, you know, the divine masculine is rising. The divine masculine in each of us, first of all, because it starts with us, energetics first. The divine masculine is here too. And we're going to start seeing a lot of that out in the world, out in the media, we're going to start seeing a lot of that, the physical true examples of the divine masculine, right? And it's such a beautiful thing. Can't wait to see more of it. That doingness, like when you have a certain thing in your, let's just use God for example. We can do anything, you know, we can talk about a goal, project, creation, we can talk about anything, but just to keep it simple and straight to the point, let's talk about spirit, source, universe, God. Pick your word for that. The divine masculine is going to be focused on that the whole time in its actions, in its perception, and its focus, in everything that it does, every action, every thought, everything here in the physical realm, everything that, it's all about. He's all about. Let's just use he. Do not get technical here, okay? Everything is focused on the divine. And so in the way that he moves and the actions that he takes and the thoughts that he entertains and the thoughts that he, sits on, they're still sacred. They're divine. They're full of divinity. They're full of life and love and source, right? Yeah, another example is, I think of this is very traditional, when masculine energies in certain households, they're I'm doing this for you. I'm working hard for you. Even though I didn't get up, I didn't sleep last night, I'm doing it for you because I got to focus. I got family to take care of. I got babies to feed. I got I got goals. I got to do this despite what's going on in my life. Despite my emotions, despite how I feel every single day, I still get up and I do it. That's sacred action, right? Because in the masculine's mind, what's sacred is kids, spouse, feeding a family, setting out for goals, right? Taking care of what's sacred, having resources, for his loved ones, right? It's sacred. That action, that movement, that very physical thing that he's doing every day, that's a sacred action because it's focused on what's sacred to him, right? And despite what's going on here in the inside, the emotions, the beingness, his nervous system could be, that's when the divine feminine comes in. Don't get technical. We're just using physical things just to make it more clear, I guess. Whereas the divine feminine, she can help with the emotional things, with the being present, with the calmness and everything, right? Whereas, the feminine, she might slip into too much of that feminine energy where she doesn't want to take action. She gets defeated, she doesn't want to move. She just wants to give up everything and just do nothing, just kind of sulk and get down on herself. Whereas that masculine energy can come in and say, we got things to take care of, right? We have sacred action to do. And I hear you and I love you and I trust you and thank you for reminding me to prioritize rest and presence and chill and not getting caught up in this world. Thank you. And I appreciate that. Whereas the feminine can say, thank you so much for reminding me that our mind is strong. We still have stuff to do. Life goes on. We can still make movements. The divine, the spirit, presence is still right here, even in our movement. We don't always have to be sitting, meditating, not doing anything, just to tap into that presence, just to tap into that God self, right? Because divine is in our movements too. It's in our actions, right? It's sacred action. So it's a beautiful, sacred dance between masculine and feminine energies. Each of us have both the masculine and the feminine energy in us. And it's about how we're relating, how their relationship is. How is the relationship between your inner sacred feminine and sacred masculine, right? Yeah, the masculine is divine too. It's not just the divine feminine. It's all of it. The divine masculine and the divine feminine make up the spirit, make up this whole thing, make up God, if you will, right? Oh, look at the rabbit. There was a rabbit outside my car, y'all. So sweet. But yeah, it's important to realize that doing part of you, that action part of you, this physical part of you that makes movement and that's more about the world and navigating it, that's sacred too. I know it's so easy for us to get caught up in patriarchy and associating patriarchy with masculine as a whole. Patriarchy is a thing, right? Patriarchy is a thing and it's dying out. But masculine energy isn't patriarchy. Don't let patriarchy twist the definition of true masculinity. Patriarchy is one thing. It's a whole thing, right? But masculinity is divine. The divine masculine is real. Sacred action is real, right? Not all of masculinity is toxic and distorted. A lot of the world that we've seen, that toxic side of masculinity has been put on display, right? That's not to say that there is not healthy masculinity happening in the world. Just for some strange reason, that's the only thing that's been put on display, right? And again, we're going to see more of this as time goes on, more of healthy masculine energy. But yeah, it's about to rain and I got the windows up and it's getting hot in this car, y'all. Sweating, honey. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. I hope y'all got something out of it. I hope something resonated for y'all. Let me know how you felt about it. Leave me a comment. Comment any topics that you want to hear me yap about in another video. Thank you so much for being here again, y'all. And we're at 25 subscribers. Oh my God, it was 10 the last video. What happened, y'all? Oh my God, y'all click subscribe. Y'all said click, click, click. Okay, y'all. I see y'all. And I appreciate y'all so much. So if you don't mind, give this video a like, a comment. That way it can spread and reach other people who need to hear something in this video. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe just so you don't miss any other future videos that I drop, and you'll get them as they drop. Okay, so I will talk to y'all later. Okay, take care, and yeah, see you later. Bye.